When I was 16, 17, I wanted to build rocket ships. I wanted to become an aerospace engineer, build rockets, work at either SpaceX or NASA or one of those companies. And I wanted to build shit that would go to other planets and take humans to other planets because I was super stoked about it. I was like, this is so freaking cool. And I applied to all these schools for my first application process after high school, applying to college. And I got rejected by most of them. One accepted me, but couldn't go. So I took a gap year. And over that gap year, I started thinking, I'm like, if I get an aerospace engineering degree or just a mechanical engineering degree, I won't be able to live anywhere except where there's an aerospace engineering job, which means I might have to live in a big city, which I didn't necessarily want to do. I might have to live in somewhere like Houston, Texas, where there are test centers and all this stuff. It's like, it's not enough freedom for me. I want something that allows me to travel the world. I want to have my own time freedom because I was spoiled and had been homeschooled and I was used to doing things on my own and when I wanted to do them. So I started thinking about it and I got into this whole pursuit of business and entrepreneurship. The entire reason I got into business or entrepreneurship was for this freedom that I thought it would provide me. And I saw freedom as the path to success for me. I wanted to be able to do whatever I wanted to do whenever I wanted to do it. So freedom is this very deep thing for me that goes back to my childhood. But I think that we think about freedom in the wrong terms. We think about it in the wrong ways. A lot of people, when they think of freedom, they think of, I want to have the money to do whatever I want. I want the financial freedom to go buy whatever I want, travel wherever I want, do whatever I want. And they see the path to that as this tangible financial good, right? I have enough dollars in the bank account to go do this thing. But I think that's actually vastly underestimating what actual freedom is. Actual freedom is not just bought. Because if you look at any super wealthy person, say a super wealthy celebrity or a CEO or anything like that, first of all, there's a million examples of depressed rich people. Why is that? If they have all the freedom, the financial freedom, the financial ability, all the money in the bank account to do whatever they want to do, why are they not happy? Why don't they feel free? And freedom is actually one of the things that you can actually measure to have a tangible impact on someone's happiness. So why don't they feel free? Why aren't they happy? And I'm speculating, but I believe this is because they have the freedom to do something, but they do not have the freedom from all their other obligations that they need to actually make use of that financial freedom, right? So they have $1 million in the bank account, but they still have to be at work every single day, or they have a ton of meetings if they're a CEO, or if they're a celebrity, they still do various shoots or photo or whatever celebrities do. I don't even know what they do with their time. But they don't have the freedom from these obligations. They have the freedom to do something, theoretically, but no freedom from. So you can see that freedom is a multifaceted thing. We have to start thinking about freedom in various different angles. You need not only the money, which is actually a smaller component than I think most people would believe, and then you need to have all the other elements. You need to have the freedom, the time freedom, the locational freedom, and all these other factors. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to achieve that freedom, because honestly, if you want the Bible on this kind of stuff, just go read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. He does a much better job of explaining how you actually get to this freedom than I could do. But that's not actually what interests me the most. What interests me the most is the fact that after you achieve this freedom that you thought that you've been after for years and years, as I have, after you achieve it and you realize, oh shit, like I can do whatever I want any day, I can theoretically travel wherever I want if there wasn't a pandemic. This is pretty cool, right? It is very cool. But what interests me even more than achieving that is the fact that chances are after you have it, you actually aren't that happy. you experience a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment and pride in your ability to have achieved this thing. It's like, oh shit, like yeah, I built this. I followed through on my goals, all this. But that's not where actual happiness comes from, at least not for me. Yeah, I'm speaking mainly from my own experience of having started a business in the last couple years that has now provided me financial freedom, locational freedom, time freedom, all these various factors and facets of freedom. I more or less have all of them in a not in an extravagant way. But like I said, money is less of a factor than most people believe. Really, what holds most people back from being free is not the money. It's the time freedom, locational freedom, all those other things. So it's really kind of a shock to reach this goal that you've had for a long time and find that you're proud, you're happy, you're not happy, you're satisfied. You're proud of what you've done, but you're not necessarily going to wake up every single day with just this huge grin on your face of, oh, I can do whatever I want. Like, it is very powerful, but it's not the answer entirely. So that's what fascinates me even more. And I think that the path to actual happiness, if there is one, which I don't think there really is, but what you actually have to reintroduce after you are completely free are limitations and rules and structure. The very thing that you are trying to escape on this path to complete freedom, you have to intentionally reintroduce. Now, the key differentiator between the situation you were in before and the situation you're in now is the fact that you are choosing what to reintroduce and how to reintroduce it. You are choosing your limitations and your rules. That's very different from the situation that I would imagine most people are in, where they're not choosing that they have to go to work that day, or they're not choosing the various restrictions that they feel are preventing them from being free. So the path after you reach this complete freedom is to then choose, okay, what kind of limitations and what kind of structure do I want to add back into my life? And the reason that this is so important is because I believe that genuine fulfillment or happiness or any of those terms that are totally overused comes from work, but not work in the sense that most people think about. Because most people's definition of work is work that other people have given to them. But if your work is something that you are actively choosing to do and struggle for and work towards, and it'll be hard. It can be hard. It can be a pain. You can not want to do it at times. But as long as you're the one choosing to do it, it's much more fulfilling than if someone else were to hand it to you and say, this is your job. This is your task. I hate that. Ever since I was a little kid, I hate being told what to do. And it's probably bit me in the ass many times throughout my life, because sometimes you need to just bite the bullet and do what other people ask you to do. I'm lazy. I'm legitimately very lazy. So I hate that. So instead, the path that I've chosen is to bust your ass and maybe do what other people want you to do for a while, to build some kind of business that grants you this freedom, right? The freedom from financial limitations, locational, time, all that. But then you reach this point and you're like, oh shit, I'm actually not super happy still. That's weird. I thought freedom was the only answer. No, there are other components, believe it or not. Obviously, relationships are extremely important, but I think primarily, at least for me, and I would imagine other guys and other people that are ambitious, toot my own horn, I'm ambitious in the right ways. I'm still very lazy. We need some sort of project. We need something to do. We need something to work on. We need structure and struggle optionally injected into our lives, intentionally injected into our lives, because you're never going to be really satisfied with your life if there's no struggle in it. If it's all just easy, and it's like, if I just got up every day and watched TV or Netflix or whatever and ate shitty food, I'd be miserable. Even if that's what I got to do every single day, had no obligations, completely free, right? I'd hate my life. I'd hate myself. Instead, I choose, okay, I'm going to get up every single day at this time. I'm going to do this routine. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to work on this project. I'm going to practice drums. I'm going to read. I'm going to write. I've reintroduced all this structure in my life and these obligations that I've chosen for myself. And that is what gives me now some sense of contentment, of I am working hard towards something that I care about, that I chose. And I think that is a much more direct or reliable path to any sense of happiness or contentment with your life. I didn't mean to be this prescriptive. I really have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. This is almost just a journal for me, this process of talking to this camera. It's like writing, but much more public, which I guess is a good thing. I have to be careful about what I say and really think through. And obviously all these thoughts have been jumbling around in my head, but I don't think I've ever really tried to put them on paper. I did write an entire script, an entire outline for this video, which once again I have completely ignored. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this whole structure thing in this video, but I was planning on breaking this up into 2 sections. One of them was just going to be how freedom is what we pursue, but it's not the answer once you get there. And the other was going to be like, okay, what is the answer? But I still don't like how that sounds like I know the answers and I'm telling you. I don't know. I think just the fact that I know that I'm still in the middle of it all, I feel very weird about telling other people what to do instead. But I can speak from my own experience and say what I have learned so far. And what I've learned so far is freedom is like the first step. There's a lot that comes after that. It's a valid first step, and it's admirable, and it takes a lot of hard work to get there. But ultimately, it all actually comes back to struggle. You're not trying to escape struggle. You're trying to choose your struggle. There we go. Hope you enjoyed this video. This was, again, a little bit unstructured. Maybe we'll get a little bit better. Maybe not. I don't know. But at least I did it, right? This is my first video. I committed to 11, I think. So I gotta step it up, but so far so good. If you somehow made it this far, I guess I'll do the stereotypical like YouTube thing where it's like, subscribe. Now it's all turn on notifications, but honestly, I hate notifications, so don't turn on notifications. Just subscribe and then check my channel. Because you love me. Alright. Thank you for watching. I will see you on my video number 2 out of 11 in this weird YouTube experiment. Alright. Take care, everyone.